Welcome back to the Bad Influence Podcast, Relationship Wednesday, where we tell you how to build the relationship you deserve. I am the bad influence that you need in your life, Bjordan Banderas. Alright, let's cut the bullshit here. We've all heard that love is enough, that love will keep you going no matter what life throws at you, right? But the hard truth is that love alone is never enough. If you're serious about building a lasting relationship, then it's time to get real about what it takes. And spoiler alert, it's not just about saying I love you. It's about sacrifice, empathy, and growth. It's about showing up when it's uncomfortable. It's about choosing each other even when it's hard. Now, I know this isn't the kind of thing we like to talk about. Love is supposed to be easy, right? Just sunshines and rainbows and unicorns, flowers, roses, anything like that, right? All the good stuff. But life doesn't work that way. Relationships are built on real work. And if you're not putting in the work, don't expect that love to survive the storms. Today, we're diving into what I call the real work of love. This is the unfiltered truth about what keeps relationships strong. So let me ask you this. Are you putting in the real work? Are you sacrificing? Are you showing empathy? Are you growing alongside your partner? Because if you're not building a lasting relationship. In this episode, we're going to break down exactly what you need to do to make love work long term. By the end, you'll understand why sacrifice, empathy, and growth are the foundation of any relationship that can stand the test of time. If you're ready to go deep and find out what love is really made of, stick around. Here's where a lot of people go wrong. They think saying I love you is enough. They think it's like a magic spell that's going to solve every issue in the relationship. But let me tell you something. I love you means nothing without action. It's like building a house without laying a foundation. Those words are nice. They feel good. But they don't hold a relationship together. The real problem is that too many people buy into the fairy tale version of love. They expect everything to just fall into place without any real effort. But guess what? Real love is about more than just being happy all the fucking time. Real love is about showing up when you don't feel like it, putting in the work even when it's uncomfortable, and being there for each other even on the hard days. I know, right? Surprising. And if you're not doing these things, you're not giving your relationship a real chance. Because love without sacrifice, empathy, and growth, that's not love. That's infatuation. And it's temporary. It will go away in weeks, days, months, years sometimes. Today, we're tearing down that fantasy and getting real about what it takes to make love last. So let's talk about the first pillar of real love, sacrifice. This isn't the stuff you see in rom-coms, telenovelas, soap operas, all that shit. This is the hard truth about what it means to truly give a part of yourself to someone else. Sacrifice isn't a word that gets thrown around lightly. But if you're in a relationship, you've got to understand that love without sacrifice is shallow. Sacrifice means putting someone else's needs before your own. It means giving up something that matters to you because your partner's well-being matters even more. And that's not always easy. For example, think about the sacrifices you make when you're going through tough times. Maybe your partner is dealing with a loss or struggling with their mental health. It's not enough to just say, I'm here for you. Sometimes you have to sacrifice your own time, your own comfort to truly be there for them. Sacrifice means canceling plans, staying up all night, or even holding back on something you want because your partner needs you. And listen, sacrifice doesn't mean losing yourself or being a martyr. It's about balance. It's about giving and taking, but always knowing that you're willing to make those sacrifices when it truly matters. Without that willingness, love loses its depth. So if you're serious about building a lasting relationship, ask yourself, are you willing to make those sacrifices? Because love isn't always convenient. And if you're only there for the good times, you're not really there at all. I'll be real with you. In my own relationship, I had to learn the hard way about sacrifice. When my wife got really sick and everything fell on me, I had to step up in ways I hadn't before. I had to sacrifice my time, my energy, even parts of my career to take care of her. I'm not going to lie, it was hard. There were moments where I felt like I was drowning. But here's where I realized love isn't always easy. Sometimes it's messy. And if you're not willing to sacrifice when times are tough, then what's the point? My wife needed me, and showing up for her wasn't a choice. It was a commitment. That's what real love is about. Looking back, I'm grateful for those sacrifices because they show me what love really is. Love isn't about saying I love you when everything is good. It's about showing up when it's hard, when it's inconvenient, and when no one is watching. And if you can't do that, then maybe you need to reevaluate what love means to you. Now, let's move on to the second pillar of real love. It is empathy. I know. These are hard words, even for me. When I learned about all these words, I was like, I was very uneasy about them. But here's the thing. Sacrifice is one thing, but without empathy, it's easy to lose sight of why you're making those sacrifices in the first place. Empathy is the glue that holds a relationship together. It's the ability to put yourself in your partner's shoes, to feel what they're feeling, and to understand their perspective, which I know it's hard for a lot of you. It was hard for me. Because without empathy, you're just two people coexisting in the same space, but you're not truly connected. Empathy means listening to your partner without judgment, even when you don't agree. It means validating their feelings even when you can't relate. This is where a lot of relationships struggle because instead of showing empathy, we get defensive. We try to fix things or we shut down. I used to do that. But real love requires you to be vulnerable, to open yourself up and to see the world through their eyes, which is fucking hard. For example, if your partner comes home after a rough day, empathy isn't just saying, that sucks. It's sitting with them, letting them vent, and letting them know that you're there to support them. Empathy is about creating a space where your partner feels safe to be themselves, flaws and all. And let me tell you, that kind of emotional safety is rare nowadays. Not a lot of couples have that. And that's why they're struggling. That's why relationships are struggling, because they live together, they spend time together, but there's not an emotional safety where you can be yourself, where you can talk about your day, your feelings, whatever. But here's the thing. Empathy, it's the one of the principal foundations of any lasting relationship. So if you're not practicing empathy, you're missing out on one of the most powerful tools in love. So Now, let's get into how you can start building more empathy in your relationship. First, start by truly listening. I mean, really, really, really listening. Not just waiting for your turn to speak. No, don't do that. When your partner is sharing their feelings, give them your full attention. Put your phone down, look them in the eyes, and let them know that what they're saying matters to you. Next, ask open-ended questions. Instead of just saying, I'm sorry you're feeling that way, ask them, can you tell me more about what's going on? This particular question, or any question like that, shows that you're invested in understanding their experience, and it encourages them to open up. And lastly, try to reflect back what they're saying. This doesn't mean repeating their words. It means showing that you get it. For example, you might say, it sounds like you're feeling really overwhelmed. Is that right? This shows empathy and builds trust because it lets your partner know you're making an effort to truly understand them. Empathy isn't something you do once and then forget about it. It's a daily practice. And when you make empathy a priority, your relationship will feel stronger, safer, and more connected. Now, let's talk about growth. Because if you're not growing, you're stagnant. And a stagnant relationship is a relationship that's slowly dying. Growth means that you're willing to evolve, to change, and to become a better version of yourself for your partner and for yourself. In my relationship, growth has been essential. My wife and I are not the same people we were when we first met. And that's a good thing. We've grown together, we've learned from each other, and we've become better because of each other. But that didn't happen by accident. It took effort, it took commitment, and it took a willingness to change. Growth is about pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, facing your insecurities, and becoming the kind of partner who can support and uplift the person you love. And if you're not willing to do that, then you're not willing to truly invest in your relationship. So ask yourself, are you willing to grow? Are you willing to become better for your partner? Because that's what it takes to build a relationship that lasts. Now, let's look at how you can start embracing growth in your own life. First, start by setting goals for yourself and your relationship. Talk to your partner about what you both want to achieve, both individually and as a couple. This might mean saying career goals, health goals, or even emotional goals. The point is to keep growing together, to keep pushing each other to be better. Second, embrace feedback. This is something that I love about my wife. She gives me so much feedback throughout the day that it has helped me become a better person. Because here's the thing. No one's perfect. And sometimes our partners see things we don't. They see our blind spots. So you have to be open to constructive criticism and willing to work on your flaws. This isn't easy, but it's necessary if you want to grow together. Third, make a commitment to lifelong learning. Whether it's reading books on relationships, attending workshops, or just having regular check-ins with each other, make learning a priority. Growth doesn't happen by accident. It happens when you're intentional about becoming better. And finally, this is important. Celebrate each other's growth. Recognize the progress you've made and the challenges you've overcome. Growth is hard work, and acknowledging each other's efforts will bring you closer together. All right, here's the bottom line. Love is hard work. It's sacrifice, it's empathy, and it's growth. And if you're not putting in that work, then don't expect your relationship to last. But if you are, If you're willing to sacrifice, to show empathy, and to grow, then you're building a love that can withstand anything. Love isn't about feeling good all the time. It's about standing by each other through the tough times, supporting each other's growth, and showing up even when it's hard. And if you're willing to do that, you're already ahead of the game. So take a look at your relationship. Are you putting in the real work of love? If not, it's never too late to start. I started 3 years after I got married. So you can start right now because it's never too late. Sacrifice, empathy, and growth. These are the foundations of a love that lasts. So start working on them. Make your relationship better and show others that it can be done. And that's it for today. If you found this episode valuable, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And remember, love isn't just a feeling. It's a commitment, and it's up to you to make it strong. Until next time, keep putting in the work, and remember, the real love is worth every ounce of effort. And have a great day.